Welcome to the Caminada podcast. Here's the place to find support and guidance on your spiritual awakening and healing journey. It is my mission to help you awaken, heal, and expand your consciousness. Hello, beautiful soul. I'm so glad that you chose to listen to the Caminada podcast. In this solocast episode, I'm going to talk about the masculine and feminine energies and how to balance them, what qualities they hold. And I hope that this brings some self-reflection and some insights. And before I get into today's episode, I just have a small favor to ask of you, and that's to take a moment of your time, leave a review on my podcast on Apple Podcasts, because when you do this, you help me reach more beautiful souls and help fellow humans to expand their consciousness. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button in whatever platform you listen to your podcast so that you never miss any future content. All right, so the first thing that I would like to debunk, some of you probably already know this, but I think it's really important to get this out of the way, which is the myth that the feminine and masculine energy has to do with gender or sexual orientation. And it doesn't. We all have these two energies because basically that's how the universe works. We need polarity. We need the masculine and the feminine to create things. We have been created by a feminine and masculine energy. So everything in this world manifests through polarity. So we have, for example, the negative and positive charges. We have the moon and the sun, the moon being the feminine energy and the sun being the masculine. We have the yin and yang, the earth, Mother Earth, feminine, and the Milky Way. We have the Father and the Holy Spirit. We have dark and light, and even the chakras are predominantly feminine and or masculine. So that's the first thing. Second thing, we're talking about energy, but obviously we are energy. Everything is energy. So I'll be talking a lot about energy awareness here. But when we're talking about the physical aspects of these energies, the feminine energy, it comes in the left side of our bodies, not the left side of our brains, but the left side of our bodies. And the masculine is on the right. And basically, the feminine energy has to do with the emotional body, because other than our physical bodies, we also have the emotional and the mental, which we call subtle bodies. And so the emotional comes before the mental. First is the physical, then is the emotional, and then is the mental. So the mental comes first. That's why we think and then we feel. And that's why our thoughts and words are so powerful. That's why the thoughts and our minds is so powerful. But again, we need the mental and the emotional to co-create. So the feminine has to do with emotional body, has to do with receiving, has to do with intuition, and has to do with being still, just being. The masculine has to do with the mental body. So the logical, the reason in ourselves. And it has to do with giving. It has to do with doing, with action. Right. Every one of us, we do have both energies, and I'll just say this right now, the key is to balance them. But the balance is not necessarily something that you're going to achieve and that's it. It's really, for me, I feel like it's a dance between those two energies, and it's also a dance between your energy and your partner's energy, or whoever you're getting in touch with or having a dynamic or a relationship. So we do have one that's more predominant than the other, And that's not a bad thing, because, like I said, we need the polarity, and that's how we attract. The negative charge and the positive charge, they attract each other. If you put two negative charges, they repel. So, and I'm talking about relationships, and also just for the sake of the balance of the world, we need both energies. And the key to keep a healthy balance is energy awareness of yourself and of the other or the environment. So, for example, in relationships, in romantic relationships, or not just romantic relationships, relationships with your mother, with your siblings, with your coworkers. But I'll just mention like a romantic relationship. When you are aware of your energy and your partner's energy, you can allow your partner to be in their energy at that moment, because obviously it changes. It's kind of like our moods, even though we have a more predominant one. But let's say your partner is more in a masculine energy, meaning he or she wants to lead, wants to make the decision, wants to think about the logistics of something. And if you can feel that they're in their more masculine energy, and you can allow them to be in that energy, and so you're tuning into your feminine energy. Ideally, obviously, you would be in a relationship where both parts are aware, and so the dance is a little bit more fluid, I would say. And the other example too is, and I'm gonna give you my example here, is that of creativity. We really need both energies, because, for example, myself, I have more of a feminine energy, because I am easily inspired to create, and that's a very feminine energy, creativity, intuition. I can easily sit to meditate and just be flooded by ideas for projects, for music, for whatever, and so that's easy and that's enjoyable for me. However, I if I just have the ideas but I don't take any action and I don't manifest them into this physical world, then it's like half of the job done, right? That's why we need both energies, and then that's when I need to tap into my masculine energy, find that confidence, find that willpower, take action, and create, put it into reality, manifest it into reality, whatever ideas I got. And so, again, there is no better or worse. I think the whole point of this podcast is that once we are aware, we can consciously tune into the energy that we need for a specific moment in a specific relationship dynamic. And I'm talking here more about being aware of your energy, and sort of finding that balance, and being able to dance with those two energies, whether with yourself or with someone else. And perhaps if you would like to go a bit deeper on this, I would suggest that you do some healing work around your feminine or masculine energy, because I'm not going to talk so much about healing in this episode, but it's more about balancing. But obviously there is a lot of healing to be done with the feminine energy in general, and with the masculine energy too. And sometimes we've been raised to, I think things are changing, but we are still living in a society where the masculine energy is more praised, because it's in terms of like your professional life, you're praised if you're successful, if you have money, if you're taking action, if you're being productive. and sort of the feminine energy seen as weak, and it's, you're not praised if you're intuitive, or if you're emotional, if you're sensitive, if especially like boys, if you cry and if you show your emotions, that's weak, that's you being weak. So I do believe things are changing for sure. The new generation is different to my generation or my parents' generation, but there's still a lot of healing to be done, and I believe we're going in that direction. And that's it for today. I hope that it's brought you some insight, some clarity on these on the energy, on the knowledge of the energies of your feminine and masculine. And if you would like me to do a podcast about healing the divine masculine, the sacred feminine, I will gladly do so. Please let me know in the comments or on DM. You can find me on Instagram at GuiWill, GuiWill, or you can find more information about my work, more meditations, more everything on my website, www.willcaminada.com. And if this episode has brought you value, please subscribe to my podcast and take a screenshot of it, share it to your Instagram story, and be sure to tag me so I know that it's brought you value and your friends may benefit from this episode too. As always, keep shining your light, keep your heart open, and let love lead the way. I love you. See you in the next episode.